Howdy, everybody. Bienvenidos. Welcome back. I missed you guys so much. Well, maybe not all of you, but most of you I've missed. This shirt is not really Colombian shirt, but it looked more like Colombian than the shirts I usually wear for this. So today's live stream is going to be a recap of my Colombian vacation. So as you can tell, I'm a little bit tanner in the face, I think. And as you probably can't tell, I had a haircut 2 weeks ago and I need another one. So that's how that rolls. Anyways, good to see you all. I don't know how many we have in here. It looks like only two people here. Two people standing by. So hopefully we will get a few more people. To me, it looks clearer for some reason. The picture, the video looks a little bit more clearer. So let me know how the audio is. Let me know how the video is, the two of you that are out there, and hopefully more people will join us soon. And we will do a recap of our Colombian adventure, which is technically why we could not do a live stream, is because essentially we were in hotels, and the hotels that we were in had wireless or Wi-Fi, and I wasn't sure what kind of connection it was going to be. So doing a live stream from there was not practical. And Julie, who just dropped in, hi, hon. Hi, Jules. How you doing? Julie was unable to do it either because she's currently in the process of moving things around at her place and does not have a wired connection either currently. So she could not do a Trippy Food East live stream while we're gone. But we're back, and it's our first time back in, I think it's our first live stream in 3 weeks. I want to say 3 weeks. So I missed you all. I missed most of you. Sorry. Didn't want to, misrepresent here. Missed most of you, and it's good to be back, and I'm glad you could join us. So it looks like people are starting to pop into the room. Miguel Rangel was first. Then Jules came in, and Adam Heb, and Eli. You got some nice color down in Colombia. Yeah. Here's the thing. So especially in Bogota and in Villa de Leyva, the temperature doesn't really go up that high. You're on the equator, but you're also Bogota is 9,000 feet above sea level. Not sure about Villa de Leyva. It may be 1,000 feet below that, 8,000 feet above sea level. So it stays relatively cool. Even though it's close to the equator, it still stays relatively cool. The nice thing is that the days are the exact same length all year round. So sun comes up about, I want to say maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun's coming up, and the sun's going down about 5:30, 6 p.m. every day, exactly the same. So even on days when it's kind of overcast and it's not particularly hot, you're closer to the sun. Again, A, because you're on the equator, and B, because you're at a higher altitude, so you're closer to the sun. So even though you don't realize it, you're getting the full brunt of the sun. On days when it's not overcast and the sun hits you, it's like a laser. It's like you can feel the heat from the sun. You can feel the radiation, as opposed to the air around you is cool, and then when the sun is hitting you, it feels really hot. So yeah, I did get some color. Fortunately, I didn't get burned. I should have used sunscreen. I did not, but I should have used sunscreen. And so yeah, that's the climate that we're talking about. Always found overcast days burn you more since it's sneaky. Yeah, and the thing is, you look outside, you go, hey, it's overcast. The sun's not really out. I don't need to wear sunscreen or anything. And then boom, bada boom, bada bing, bada puka. So there you go. We were at 113 on Thursday. Yeah, it's been, I think here in the LA, it's been I think it reached 80 on, I'm going to say Friday reached 80, but other than that, it's been in the 70s, because we're going through what they call June gloom right now. So it's like a marine layer usually it's in the morning, it burns off by the afternoon, but it seems like it's sticking around. So it's been here the whole time, June gloom, and it's kept the temperatures low. So even other parts of the Southwest and the West have had very, very high temperatures. It's been relatively low here. Cook an egg on your car. You could do that, I think. That's a six. Oh, thank you, Jules. So I wish I could say, oh yeah, I got this in Colombia. This is what Colombians wear and everything. I got this at Old Navy. So, but like I said, I thought it looked kind of Colombian or at least Latin American or something. It would be, a cool thing to wear for the live stream. So there you go. Maybe next week, if we go back to normal kind of stuff, we'll go back to the usual shirts that I wear. I think most of the time I wear that black, the black Tiny Val shirt, or the replacement for the Tiny Val shirt, because the one with the wide stripe is history. So I want to get some more shirts. There we go. There's nothing. Warm car cookies. Yeah, wasn't there a Jules? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think somebody made a video where they put a cookie tray on their dashboard and made cookies on their dashboard because the heat was so hot in the car. I think, if I remember that correctly, but I don't know specifically. You could have just lied. That's not my bag, baby. I don't lie, Adam. I have a very hard time. It has posed problematic in the past that I can't lie. So it's kind of like, how do I tell this person this without lying? And it's been very difficult, but it just not in me to lie, and I can't. If I'm acting, if I'm in a situation where I'm acting, I kind of feel like that's a lie, but it's I'm just obviously acting. But as far as having conversations with people and everything, I find it very, very difficult to lie. Now, so that having been said, when you watch my reviews, I'm being honest. All of my reviews are completely honest. I never pretend anything is good if it's bad, and I never pretend anything's bad if it's good. My reviews are honest. Now, I will tell you they're honest based on my taste buds. So I'll give you this caveat. Whenever you watch any of my reviews, you could say, oh, that sounds interesting. But at the same time, if you have access to something, try it yourself and see, because, not all taste buds are the same, and mine certainly aren't. I have a higher tolerance for things that some people do not have a high tolerance for. I don't have an extremely high tolerance for heat, but it's higher than a lot of people's. And so if I'm eating something that's hot, I'm not, as Matt would say, no selling it. It's just, it's not hot enough to cause me enough pain that, like, you have seen videos of me when I was eating the Carolina Reaper, when I was testing remedies with Carolina Reaper, where I couldn't talk, and I'm sweating and I'm turning bright red and I'm crying and my nose is running. So when I'm not no selling stuff. So I'm not going to eat something that's extremely hot and go, hey, piece of cake, and then later on be like passed out on the floor, wet rags all over me and stuff like that. So what you see is what you get. But things that have an unusual smell or a strong smell, I have a higher tolerance than a lot of people for smell. I mean, it's not that I don't smell them. It's just that I find the smell interesting enough that it doesn't turn me off to the taste. Like durian, jacarl, sistruming, all those things, I can smell them, and I can tell that they smell maybe not great. But it doesn't affect the taste, and it doesn't prevent me from being able to enjoy it just because it smells bad. I recognize that it smells bad, but to me, it's kind of like full disclosure. I actually find the smell of skunk really interesting. So, like, if I smell that, like, just if there's a skunk outside, and you can tell there's a skunk outside, I go, oh, there's a skunk outside. But I'm not like, oh God, there's a skunk. It's like, no, not at all. So, Eli said he made car cookies. Oh, okay. Made a cookie by leaving a pan of cookies in the car while I was at work. Because we've been doing this for a few years now. I can't believe. Maybe years ago, Eli, you did mention that to us, and that's what I'm referencing. But unless you're talking about just recently, you made a pan of cookies. But I think there's a video. If you search on YouTube, you probably find a video of somebody actually making cookies by sticking them in the window of their car. Let's see. This summer, I'll make a video cooking an egg in a pan in the sun. Oh, cool. Okay, Eli. Well, it sounds like, were you saying it was 117? Sounds like this is the time to do that. Dad, you're such a liar. Let's see. Who else did I miss? Jared, did I acknowledge you? Jared Tierno, did I acknowledge that you came into the room? If I did not, welcome. I have a feeling we'll get to 120 day this summer? Well, that's the day to make your eggs and cookies. Let's see. Oh, Grub Warp is here. Welcome, Grub Warp. I have not seen you in a while. I don't know if we're going to see Greg of tomorrow here, being that it's Monday in Australia, but it would be good to see him again because we haven't seen any of you in 3 weeks. And again, my apologies. If you'll notice I forget it's over that way. If you notice on the chair over here, that's actually a poncho. And I was going to wear that when I first came on, but I thought that was almost, what's the word I'm looking for? I would say almost stereotypical. Like nobody in Colombia wears that. But, it's one of those things that like you go to a place like Andres Carne de Res, and you can look that up. It's a pretty crazy place. It's a fun place to go to and everything. But that's like something they would put on you when you're at Andres Carne de Res, especially if they know that you're an American tourist. They'll put that on you, and it kind of signals to everybody else in the room, hey, stupid American tourist here. What would be interesting making a pizza in your car, like having the dough rise and the cheese melt? I don't think, because typically to make pizza, you need a really, really hot oven. So I would think, I think the temperatures to make a good pizza is somewhere between 700 and 800 degrees, and it doesn't get that hot in the car. So you could make kind of a doughy pizza, but I don't think the dough would cook, and it wouldn't be a very good pizza. So there you go. Cultural appropriation. Yeah, I think, Jules. When I smell skunk, I can't tell if it's an animal or someone sparking. No, well, and I understand what you're saying, Eli, because like even Claudia says the same thing. It's like, oh my God, that smells like skunk. Somebody's smoking weed, but she knows the difference. She can tell the difference. She just thinks it smells like skunk, and it doesn't. But that's okay. All righty, so we'll wait for a few more people to enter the room. I won't wait too late because we got a lot to. Hey, John King has just entered the room. Welcome, John King. We missed you. It's not your fault we missed you. It's our fault we missed you because we have not done a live stream in 3 weeks. But glad you could make it today. So welcome, John. Did I forget anybody else? Keep me honest, guys. Like, I'm busy yapping. I'm not necessarily checking the chat. I try to look over every once in a while and make sure I get to everybody. So, as long as we're doing housekeeping. We don't have any new people, so I don't have to really go over the rules or anything. But I will tell you a couple of things. One is, and I don't know if anybody notices this or not, but in the live streams and in the episodes that I post, I always put the website, if they have one, the website for the product that I'm reviewing, and the Instagram feed for the product that I'm reviewing, so you can follow them as well. You can see what other people are saying about them, etc. I used to put the Twitter. I used to put the Twitter handle, I think is what they call it. I used to put the Twitter handle in there. I'm getting away from Twitter. So if any of you are following me on Twitter, which is I think Val_Trippy Food, if I'm not mistaken, I'll tell you in a second. Hang on. I don't know these things offhand. Or maybe it's just Trippy Food. I think it's just Trippy Food. It is. It's just Trippy Food. If any of you are following me on Twitter, I'm slowly working my way off Twitter. So if you're following me on Twitter, my preference is that you follow me on Threads instead. So if you go over to Threads and follow me on Threads, I will be doing more and more content on Threads. And I'm trying to get off. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say Twitter. Let's say X. I'm trying to get off X. It's just a personal thing. It's a cesspool right now. It's just, it really is. It was nice in the past. I could post things about food and travel. They have a nice discussion, but then everything just gets like, it's just bad. So I'm trying to get off Twitter and onto, I already have an account on, what did I say? Threads, on Threads. So I would prefer, if you're following me on Twitter, that you go ahead and follow me on Threads. I think it's just, let's see, how do you get over there? Let's see. And I think it's Trippy Food on Threads. Let's see. It's like my profile. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Val_Trippy Food on Threads. Let me put that in the chat. Oh, okay. I like the way they did that, but yeah. So that's my handle on Threads, and again, if you're following me on Twitter, please start following me on Threads, and eventually I'm gonna work my way off of Twitter or X. All right, enough of that. So there's a video of pizza being made on a car dashboard. They said it wasn't as crispy as oven baked pizza. I wouldn't think it would be, but it was definitely edible. Yeah, and then so a lot of Neapolitan style pizza, I guess, is kind of well done. So usually has that kind of bubbles on the crust, and it's a little bit black because it's a little bit I guess what they would consider well done. You're not going to get that from cooking a pizza in the car. There's a place in Boston. I don't know if it's still there or not. Julie, you can tell me if it's still there or not. It's called Pico, Picco, which stands for Pizza and Ice Cream Company. Picco. Pizza and Ice Cream Company, I guess. They were in the South End, not South Boston, but the South End. They were in the South End, and they specialize in doing their pizzas again well done. So when it comes out, it's a kind of almost burnt and bubbles on top of it and everything else like that. But really, really good pizza. So if somebody could trying to get off that. That's right, Eli. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. All right. I think I'm the only one not on Twitter. Well, Eli, you're not missing anything. So, Val, I rode a roller coaster blindfolded twice just for me. Did you film it, John? That would have been awesome to film a roller coaster blindfolded. I imagine there would be less of a fear factor and more of confusion, like a feeling of confusion, because obviously your body wants to be upright, no matter what position you're in. Your body wants to be upright. They have like a natural gyroscope in you or something, and wants you to be upright. So when you turn upside down, sideways, stuff like that, it can be confusing. Did you find that to be the case, John? Did you find that it was kind of confusing on the plane? I always thought skunk smelled like fresh ground French roast. Jules, I would say I always found fresh ground French roast smelled like skunk, but I would disagree. And it depends. Again, it depends on the brand. I have had some, fresh ground, or maybe not so fresh ground. And have you ever done this? You're making coffee and you go, "Why does it smell like fish?" Like the coffee smells like fish. Does anybody else experience that where your coffee smells like fish? I do. That's okay. All righty. Let's get started. I am obviously not at my home base. I am not at Trippy Food West. I am still in the LA area. I'm still in Los Angeles. And I am in my second home. So Michelle told me. So I'm at Michelle Grant's home, which she said is my second home. So I just want to let you know I'm at my second home, which is Michelle Grant's place. And there it is. So it's too bad that I have to stick my head in front of, where it is, there, this awesome painting of one of the Nazca lines. It just makes an awesome background, but my big fat head is in the way. So you guys didn't see that. Val, would you rather have to eat vegan the rest of your life, or able to eat meat but not be able to use salt? Well, I don't use salt anyway. So like, when I cook, or I don't put salt on my food anyway. So I don't know. That's kind of a weird thing. I wouldn't mind having to eat vegan, and I wouldn't mind having to eat meat that doesn't have salt on it. So that's kind of a tough question for me. I'm an omnivore. So I would have to say able to eat meat but not have to use salt, because that way meat is an option. I don't have to eat meat, but I can eat meat. And since I don't put salt on it anyways, that's probably the viable option. So I hope that answers your question. Yes, some French roast must be oils. I guess so. Maybe they use fish oil. I don't know. Who knows? Dumb head ruining art. That's me. That's me all the way. Did film the ride, but my camera broke. It fell out of my pocket and hit the ground. Oh yeah, I imagine it would. You're on a roller coaster, so that's the problem with riding a roller coaster with a camera. Which is why, if you look at our Canopy Lake Park episode that we did with Julie from Trippy Food East. Well, it's in New Hampshire, but it's just not too far from Julie's house. When we did our episode, I wanted to film on the roller coaster, and I just thought, you don't want to bring an expensive camera on the roller coaster and then have to, glue it back together. So that's why we didn't do that. Unsalted meat, value or wow? Well, no, because honestly, so salt is good for enhancing the flavor of stuff. So you always put it on afterwards. If you like, people salt their water when they're cooking pasta. The thing is if you're going to do that, you do it towards the end, because salt releases flavors and stuff, but you don't want those flavors to be released while it's in the water and everything. It's just like, I suppose, like if you're grilling a steak, you could put salt and pepper on that, grill that with the salt and pepper on it. That's probably fine. But again, it also can enhance the flavor of things, but it can also change the flavor of things. So the only thing I really put salt on, occasionally I'll put it on watermelon for fun, and ears of corn. I'll put it on ears of corn for fun, but I don't necessarily have to. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? Yay, Bacon's here. Welcome, Bacon. Yes, back from vacation. Again, apologies for not having live streamed in the past 3 weeks, but it was, what's the word? Logistically impossible to do so. I was in Colombian hotel rooms that had Wi-Fi, but I just didn't trust how reliable they would be. And so I didn't. And then Julie's in the process of changing her office around, and so she didn't have a wired connection, and she wasn't able to do it as well. So hopefully we're back, and yeah, I've been back to good old Canopy Lake. Yeah, because you guys have a season pass to Canopy Lake, right, Jules? Let's see. It wasn't an expensive camera, but it really sucked because I was going to load it up on my YouTube channel. Yeah, of course. That makes perfect sense. Did you meet Shakira? No, I think she spends most of her time in the United States. I did not meet Shakira. All right, let's get started. Actually, I went too far yapping and kind of going over logistics, saying hi to everybody, but that's okay because I missed you guys. And yeah, and I said before, not everybody, but I do. I miss you. I missed you all. All right, so again, going to kind of recap our Colombian adventure, and I got some snacks that we're going to do. Some beverages and stuff from Colombia. As you can see, we're starting with an adult beverage here, and this is Aguila, and it is like the Budweiser of Colombia. So all the trivia, we're going to do trivia today, but we're going to do Colombia trivia. So I will ask the first trivia question. Before we start, I will say that, so on my Colombian adventure this time, I didn't really go to places that I haven't been before. So we went to Bogota, spent a lot of time in Bogota, and then went to Villanueva, spent a lot of time in Villanueva. Those are two places that I've been on a regular basis and love both of those places. Night and day. Colombia, big, hustling, busy, loud place. Lots of nightlife, lots of variety, buildings, cars, everything. And then Villanueva, 450-year-old village, population to 20,000, I think. And all the architecture is like ancient. So a 450-year-old village. So night and day, but both two of probably my favorite places to visit in Colombia. But I've also been to Medellin. I've been to Cartagena and some other places. Did visit a new place, which was Guatavita, Guavita, Guatavita, and a cute little town. I think most of the area where people visit has kind of been built up since the 1960s. They took a couple of existing buildings, older existing buildings, but most of the bigger buildings and newer, like the church there, I think was built in 1964. So most of them are modern, but built to look old and colonial, but still a fun place to visit. So there we go. All right, so I am going to ask Colombian trivia questions. So here we go. Here's the first one. From what animal is chigüiro meat derived? From what animal is chigüiro meat derived? That's Chiguiro. And a lot of these questions, if you've watched our channel over the years, you'll know. You'll remember that. Okay, so are you having hot cheese chocolate? I am not, Eli. And the thing is, like, I've had it because, when we get together with Claudia's family, it's a tradition and they always do it. So they'll take a piece of the cheese, and it's a certain kind of cheese. You can't just put any kind of cheese in there. And you just drop it in the hot chocolate, and then, take it out with a spoon and eat it with the hot chocolate and everything. To me, that doesn't work so much. I'll eat the cheese and drink the hot chocolate, but I'm not a big fan of hot chocolate anyways. So there you go. Janice is not here yet, is she? I wonder if, I hope Janice is going to show up. So we don't have Janice. We may have Tom. I don't know. Tom has his show on Saturdays. So, you know, us having it on a Sunday, we might have Tom, but not here yet. So hopefully they will pop in. All right. So we're going to start with this. This is Aguila. And again, like I said, Aguila is kind of the Budweiser of Colombian beers. This is the most popular beer. Everybody drinks Aguila. This is 3.9% ABV, which is not a high ABV. They have huge brewing facilities in Bogota, but they also have brewing facilities, you know, around the area. It's huge. It started out as Cerveza. Well, actually, so it is called Cerveza Bavaria, which means, you know, Bavaria Brewery is the company that makes it. It was founded in 1889 by Leo S. Kopp. He was a German immigrant. That's K-O-P-P, not C-O-P. Leo S. Kopp. He was a German immigrant, and he founded it in Bogota, Colombia. It was originally called Kopp's Bavaria Fabrica de Cerveza Alemana, which means Kopp's Bavarian German maker of beer. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I learned more Spanish while I was there. Yeah, I always try to. So we are going to try this. Dinner with old guy is always a good time. It is. He's always making something fun and cool. Full disclosure, this is not Richard Simmons. This is his, I guess, an imposter pretending to be Richard Simmons, but he'll work for us today. Okay. And other full disclosure, I didn't bring a lot of stuff back. So a lot of these Colombian snacks are imported. So they're things that I bought in the United States. I try not to bring too much back. One of the things I did bring back, so if you follow us on Instagram, you've seen this. I posted a picture. This was, if you go to I think it's called the Cathedral in Via de Leyva in the middle of the square, there are little shops like to the left and to the right of the main entrance to the cathedral, and there's little shops. I mean, tiny shops. Some are coffee shops, some are you know, things that sell souvenirs and everything. And there's actually a liquor store there, and the liquor store had Four Loko. They had in the refrigerator had Four Loko, and so I put a picture on Instagram and I said, you know, shame knows no country or something along those lines. And the picture of Four Loko. So Matt Zion saw that from Reckless Eating, for those who don't know, but I think everybody knows at this point, saw the picture that I posted and said, oh my God, I'm jealous. There's Four Loko Blue, and you can't get that in the United States. Can't get Four Loko Blue in the United States. So that is one of the things that I brought back. I said, Matt, I'm going to get you a can of the Four Loko Blue. So you should see a review on Reckless Eating at some point in time of the Four Loko Blue, which is not available in the United States. And I brought that back. A couple of other things that I filmed while I was at. I filmed a lot of shorts. You'll see those if you go to our channel. I already released some of the shorts, and some of them I still have to edit, and some longer episodes. But two things that I filmed for Reckless Eating, and you know, it's up to Matt and when he wants to release those. So one was, let's see, there is a fried chicken place called a fast food place called Frisbee, and I did an episode from the airport at a Frisbee before, just trying their fried chicken. But they have a new Nashville hot chicken sandwich, and so I reviewed the Nashville hot chicken sandwich from Frisbee, which will be on at Reckless Eating at some point in time. And the other thing I did at KFC. Now, I'm not a big I don't go to KFC a lot, so you guys will have to let me know. Do they have something in the United States at KFC called Avalanche? Called Avalanche? Is that something? It's Avalancha, obviously, in Colombia. The other thing about KFC is KFC, McDonald's, all the fast food places, they have a separate dessert thing. You guys are probably familiar with McCafe, which is McDonald's like coffee. that started out in Colombia, at McDonald's in Colombia, as a separate standalone thing. So it was like McCafe was actually literally a cafe. They had, some pastries and desserts and coffee. And so the whole McCafe thing was a separate thing. So a lot of the fast food places in Colombia, they have a separate thing. And usually it's like called postres, which is like not snacks, like pastries, postres, Postres. So KFC has a postres stand, which is, we went to there and we got their avalanche, but we got the twist ice cream. Now in the United States, when you get a twist ice cream, it is vanilla and chocolate. In Colombia, it is vanilla and caramel ice cream. So we got that, and then the topping that we had on it is maracuya, and so we filmed that for Reckless Eating as well. So again, up to Matt to when he's going to release that, but it just kind of gives you an idea of what kind of fast food people in Colombia are doing. There's some crazy stuff. I mean, I'm not sure what was on it. I'm going to say everything. There was this burger at McDonald's that it looked like you would get a heart attack immediately biting into it. It was probably about this big, and it had everything. I mean, everything, literally everything in it, and it was sitting on a bed of French fries. Like, I think it was in the sandwich. It was a bed of French fries. So, we don't have the monopoly on crazy here in the United States. All right, so we're going to try this Aguila. Now, one of the drinks, and I think we've done episodes on it. I think we filmed individual episodes on it. I don't know if we've ever done it on a live stream, but one of the drinks that people drink in Colombia is something called refajo, Refajo. I think it is refajo, and refajo is half beer and half Colombiana soda. So Colombiana soda, they call it champagne soda, champagne cola, champagne soda. But I don't think the company is called Colombiana, but the product is called Colombiana soda, half Colombiana, half beer, and usually Aguila, and they call it refajo. So this is the beer that typically people will make refajo with. So let's try this. It smells like beer. It is cold bacon. I took it out of the refrigerator just before we started. So it's less cold than it was in the refrigerator because it's been sitting out for about, half an hour now. Okay, so here's the thing about this. It's not, it just tastes like your, I don't want to say like a Mexican lager. It definitely tastes like a domestic lager, but it's much better than like something like Budweiser or Miller or something like that. Much better than that. Low ABV, which probably explains why there's not that much of an alcohol bite to it. So it's kind of smoother. It's a good I don't call it a utility beer, but like if you're in a bar and you say, give me a beer, and they give you this, it's a good beer just to sip on, as opposed to if they give you a Bud Light and you're like, I'll somehow find a way to get through this. It's not like that anyway. It's I would say I'm going to give it, it's not like exceptional. It doesn't like come out and go like, oh my God, what a great flavor, what a great taste, not too bitter, it's kind of middle of the road. So I would say thumbs in the middle, but I don't want it to reflect on the fact that it's better than like Budweiser and a lot of domestic beers. I would say thumbs up, trending downward. That's what I'm going to say on that one. So Aguila, everybody, from Bavaria Brewing, or Cerveza Aguila, Bavaria. All right, let's get that. It's Colombian Coors. It's actually more like Colombian Budweiser, Eli. All right, so our question was, let's go back there. Our question was, from what animal is chigüiro meat derived? Let's see what the answers were here. Not seeing any. Well, somebody said Jerry. Maybe that's what. Somebody else has a picture of a mouse or a rat. I can't tell, Eli, if you're going with a mouse or a rat. Let's see. Oh, nobody guessed. I don't think anybody guessed. People are talking about cucumbers on pizza. Why not, right? We have an episode coming up, I think, when I get around to putting it together, because it's huge. Julie and I went to a place that had I want to say bar pizza, and we got pickle pizza there, and it's very similar to, I would think, cucumbers on pizza. Yes, rodent. Well, you are absolutely correct, Eli. I don't see anybody else guessed, or maybe I didn't recognize it as a guess. It is a rodent, and it is capybara. So chiguiro is capybara. And if you don't know what capybara looks like, Capybara. Just do a Google search for it. It will show you a picture of it. They're cuddly. They're lovable. They're about 4 feet long. They stand about, 2.5, like that. And they're edible. So there's not to worry. It's not like they went out and on the riverbank and captured a bunch of them. They're farm raised for food in Colombia. But not everybody's eating them. You can't find them in just everywhere. You find it spotted in places, but chiguiro, delicious, absolutely delicious. Had it several times. Really, really good. All right. So let's ask a second question and start getting into our snacks. So the second question is, what is the main ingredient of morcilla? And morcilla is morcilla. Now, I'm pronouncing a lot of these, like I'm saying morcilla, which is kind of like the Mexican Spanish pronunciation of that. In Colombia, they pronounce the double L like a J. So they would say morcilla. But I'm used to like hearing Mexican Spanish, where they pronounce the double L as a Y, morcilla. But in Colombia, if you're going to be in Colombia, do as the Colombians do. That's how if you say "mas morcilla, por favor," and they go, "Oh, he's from America," because he's not saying morcilla. He's not from Colombia. So, what is the main ingredient of morcilla, or morcilla if you're from Colombia? Let's dig into our bag of tricks. I think I'm going to start with the sweet stuff first. And we do have some sweet stuff. So here's the first one. I'll let you guys take a look at that. This is, let's see, we got that. This is from the company is called, or the product line is called El Puma. These are El Puma Pumitas, which are little panthers. Pumitas waffle with guava. Now it's not waffle like, just came off a waffle iron. It's more like if you ever had sugar wafers, it's more like that type of thing, like a sugar wafer. And then the filling is guava, but it's guava paste. So I think we've probably done these before, but they're called bocadillos, which is guava paste. And I think on either side of it is arequipe. Arequipe is not necessarily caramel, because caramel doesn't have milk in it. Caramel is sugar. But when you add the milk to it and everything, it's arequipe. There's an English name for it as well. I can't remember what it is. I mean, English language. So these are pumitas, waffle with guava, or as they're calling them, bocadillo de guayaba, guava, con galleta, which I think means waffle. So let's go ahead and start into this. We wasted, well, we don't waste time, but we spent a lot of time talking. So hopefully, we'll get to what we can get to. We will try. Are these? Oh, good. These are individually wrapped, so I don't have to worry so much about, them going stale after I open the package. So you can see there's the outer wrapper, and then they're individually wrapped inside, which is good. It's a good thing. All right, so let's try this. So you can see it has, well, let me take it out of the plastic. Ice Hand entered the room. Welcome, Ice Hand. It's good to be back. We've missed you for the past 3 weeks. So thank you for joining us. Yes, no visit from the dude today. The dude is not here, so we'll not see the Prince of Dogness today. So you can see that has that. It's the same as a sugar wafer. They're calling it a waffle. It's not, not a waffle in the technical sense. What? Oh, move to a moving on end of the year party. Oh, okay. All right, Jules. Hey, Jules, give me a call later on. Let's touch base. Give me a call later. I've not talked to you in a few days, but that's okay. I'm going to kind of break this in half. And if we get a chance, We might not get a chance to do goût mélange today, but if we get a chance to do goût mélange, I want to save half of that. So. Now, for me, I've had bocadillos before, which are the ones with the caramel or arequipe. This is different because I've never had it with the wafer on it. It's not as I say it's not as sugary. The guava paste has sugar in it. So the guava paste is really, really sweet and sugary. But the wafer itself, it's kind of like, it's not as sugary as sugar wafer is, where they take that cream and they mix it with sugar and they fill it with different, different flavors and everything. So this one is much, much different because you can see the thickness of that guava paste in there. They're not soggy, not necessarily crunchy. The guava paste has a very, very familiar taste. So there's nothing earth-shattering there. It's sweet. I'm not a big fan of sweet things, but the flavor is nice. So, I know that there are sweet things and people like sweet stuff. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. That's a thumbs up. And there's a lot of leftovers. So there we go. Hey, did I miss anybody? Did I miss anybody? Did anybody? Ice Hand, I did mention you, right? I just want to make sure. And guys, keep me honest about like if somebody posts something in the chat, make sure that I answer the question. So the question that we asked was, what is the main ingredient of morcilla? And the guesses were, let's see. Julie said blood sausage, so I guess she's going to say blood. Eli says sangre, which is Spanish for blood. And Julie says blood. Then Julie changes to blood. Let's see. Anybody else? Okay, so yes, everybody said blood, and it is in fact the main ingredient for morcilla is blood. It's a sausage. In Colombia, there's different. In Spain, there's a morcilla. There might even be a Mexican morcilla as well. In Colombia, it is made with, for some reason, it's made with pork blood, rice. No, wait. There's no rice in it. Pork blood, potatoes, peas, and there might be one or two other things in there as well. But it's a very, very dark sausage because, obviously because of the blood. And if you get a bandeja paisa, which is kind of like the national dish of Colombia, which is a variety of different things, and yeah, we got one more over there, then a lot of times it's going to have a link of morcilla on there, the sausage. So I'd have to take a look and see if we did any episodes with featuring morcilla. I think we did one with Matt where we did a Mexican morcilla, but Hey, Val and chat, I'm at SeaWorld today, so I'll be in and out of the chat. Well, Janice, you're always somewhere, but I'm glad you checked in with us. We missed you because we have not obviously live streamed for 3 weeks, but it's good to see you and glad you didn't break your streak and you joined us today. So welcome, Janice. Have fun at SeaWorld and join us when you can. All right, so let's do another snack. Let me see. How are we doing on time? Got about an hour and 15 minutes left. We'll see what we can get through. I might pick more interesting things just in case we don't get to everything. So the question now is, for which food product is the town of Ubate known? That's U-B-A-T-E. For which food product is the town of Ubate known? Ubate is about maybe an hour and a half out of Bogota, out in the countryside, and they're famous for one particular food item. So let's have some guesses there. And in the meantime, let's pick a snack. I think, let's see. Let's do, we have a couple more sweet things. I'm going to do one more sweet thing and then we'll switch to savory. So we're going to do this. This is, the company is Ramo. The product is Chocoramo, or the product line is Chocoramo. And this is a choco brownie with caramel, or arequipe, as they like to say. This is a product of Colombia, and we're just going to give this a shot. I don't know if I did anything on that. Hang on a second. Let me take a look. I don't think so. I think I missed that one somehow. So I know we have done products from Ramo before, a very popular product line. or a very popular company. Oh, that's interesting. I was not expecting that. So it's a choco brownie. So I'm expecting a brownie. It has caramel in it, but it's just completely covered with chocolate. Look at this. It's completely covered with chocolate. I like chocolate. I like some chocolates, unless it's like Hershey's pukey chocolate. Not really a big fan of that. But in Colombia, they grow. I want to say that they, in some places, like especially around the Amazon, they do grow cacao, which is what chocolate comes from. All right, so I'm not seeing, unless I cut it in the wrong place, I'm not seeing any caramel inside there. So let me cut out another piece. This thing is just like all over the place. I'm not seeing caramel. Now maybe maybe the flavor is there, and I'm not seeing caramel in there. All right, well we're just gonna try this then. Unless they put the wrong thing in the wrapper. The cake is nice, though the brownie is nice. It doesn't really have the texture of a brownie, what we know as a brownie in the United States. It doesn't really have that texture. It's more like cake. It has a cakey texture, but the cake is moist. It's not really dry. It almost tastes like I'm getting a little bit of caramel flavor, but it almost tastes like it's mixed in with the chocolate. So the flavor is there, but it's not like you would expect to see like a layer of caramel in there. I'm not really seeing it. I am tasting it. I don't see it. So it's mixed, somehow mixed in there. The chocolate's really nice. It's not all melty, and it's not like pukey chocolate like Hershey's. That's really good. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. It's like you wouldn't expect something that's packaged like that to be like moist and tasty, and that is. So that's gonna get a thumbs up. What was the question? The question, Janice, was, because I was just going to answer it, for which food product is the town of Ubate known? And that's Ubate, and that's E with an accent on it, so you know which syllable to accentuate. Ubate, as opposed to Ubate. It's Ubate. It's a little accent on there. Ubate, E with an accent. For which product is it known? So, Janice, I'll let you, I'll wait for you to answer that. In the meantime, I will take a look and see what other people answered. Let's see. Ice Hand said guinea pig. You're not going to find a lot of guinea pig in Colombia. That's going to be more of Peru and Ecuador that you'll find guinea pig, which they call cuy. You can get it at some places in Colombia, but it's really it's a Peruvian and Ecuadorian thing. So good guess though. Good guess. Eli said chicken. Now I will tell you that in Ubate, there's a restaurant called La Chata, and I think we did an episode from there where I got one of my favorite things to eat anywhere, which is pescueza de gallina relleno, which is stuffed chicken necks. So Eli, there's a couple places in the little square, the open air carts, where they're famous for their chicken necks, but the town itself isn't known for it. But that is one of the things that you can find in Ubate for certain. Hey, Pingu, how's it going? Good to see you. Glad you could make it. It's funny because when we were flying Avianca, and on the way back, we wanted something to eat, but you have to buy everything for some reason on the flights back. Maybe it's when you're making a connection. We made a connection in El Salvador, and we had to buy stuff, so it wasn't free. And so on the plane, Claudia says, "I just want just some light snack or something." And I think they call it pinguinos, which is made by Bimbo, if I'm not mistaken. Which is it looks and tastes exactly like a Hostess cupcake. The chocolate Hostess cupcakes looks and tastes exactly like that, but they call them pinguinos. So that's what it reminded me of. What the heck? What are the next stuffed with? Well, I'm glad you asked, Eli. It is stuffed with chicken blood, rice, blood, rice, potatoes, something else, peas maybe, and they just basically take the meat and the bones out of the neck. They leave the head at the end so they can leave the end intact. They stuff the blood and the rice and stuff into the neck, sew the end up, and then roast it and then serve it like a sausage. Let's see if I can find. Hang on a second. I'm going to see if I can find that the video, and I'll put it out there for you. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Let's try this. I would. It would be nice if I could actually play you the videos like through here. I have Streamlabs, and I've used it when Julie and I did a live stream between East and West. Have used it before, but I'm not really comfortable with it yet. So I know that if I could do that, I could show you the videos. But I'm just gonna put the link here. So there we go. Eli, just follow that link, and that's the video. Kind of tells you what it is. Well, maybe just doesn't have to be just Eli; it can be everybody. So, Janice, I didn't see your answer. Is that your final answer? For which food product is the town of Ubate known? Unless Janice is on a roller coaster and can't answer. I said to Tom last night on his live stream, you need to collab again. Oh, we are going to, as a matter of fact. We sometime this week, we're going to film a bunch of stuff. So he sent me some really disgusting stuff, and we're going to do that this week. So you should see Val and Tom collabs again really soon. All right. So Janice, you're just gonna have to tell me whether this is what you would have said or not. The food product that Ubate is known for is cheese. Not like what we think of cheese. It's not cheddar. It's not Edam. It's not Swiss. It's not Gouda or Gouda. It's a very, very specific. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. So they're known for cheese. So hopefully, Janice, you got that right. Oh no, I see you answered lamb. It is cheese, but good answer too as well. Alrighty, another snack. Let's see. We did one. How many snacks did we do? Did two. Did two snacks. Let's do another snack. I'm gonna go savory on this one just so we can get through these. Let's do this one, just because it's funny and interesting. Put this behind it so you guys can see that. I think that's Fred. All right, so the question is, what is the Colombian version of Mexican piloncilla? That's Piloncilla. What is the Colombian version of Mexican piloncilla, and from what is it made? All right, what is the Colombian version of Mexican piloncilla, and from what is it made? Now we're going to do these. This is from Yupi. I think I have information on that one. Let's see. Yes, I do. Not much, but that's okay. Yupi is a product line. It is from Compañía Internacional de Alimentos, which was founded in 1996 in Caloto, Colombia. Now, the thing this is interesting is while we were in Bogota, we met up with some friends of Claudia's that she went to school with. There was maybe about 10 of us, 10 to 15 of us. And we met in one of their apartments, and everybody brought some snacks. So somebody brought this, which I thought was really, really weird because it kind of looks like bacon. There's no actual bacon in here. Let's see. There's the English language sticker on there. It has pellet. I don't know what the pellet is. It has potato starch. It has wheat, cassava starch. Let's see, enriched flour. What else? Salt, leavening agent, annatto, natural coloring, which comes from marigold petals, so it's a yellow coloring. Then there's some artificial coloring in there. Vegetable oil, artificial bacon flavor. Wait, okay, so it says artificial flavor mix, artificial bacon flavor, natural and artificial flavors, but it doesn't specify what those flavors are. It does say artificial bacon flavor, though. Citric acid, say it with me, because there's citric acid in everything. Let's see, what else? Artificial smoke flavor. So that's where they're going with caramel color. Nothing else that adds flavor. Okay, so we're just going to give these a shot, and I'll show you. So these are Tozinetas, which kind of almost means little bacon, but I think it's tocina, Tocina is bacon. So this is Tozineta, which I think means like little bacons, and Fred. And again, I think this is Fred. So, but they did have these at that party we went to. I can smell the smoke. So that's kind of what they're going with there. They're kind of going with the smell of smoke to kind of bring that bacon flavor. So you can see they have the lines on it. It's supposed to look like a little piece of bacon. That's artificial colors. Everything's falling apart here. There we go. I don't know if that helps. Now let's see. This one doesn't have it on. I want to find one of the products that I found really, really interesting. I'll show you why here. If I can find one, and I cannot. Unfortunately, I cannot. So in Colombia, we've done a couple of Mexican products that on the product itself, like we did the Mexican chorizo flavored Fritos, and on the package there's like a black octagon, and it says like exceso sodio. Some of them say exceso grasa, exceso sodio, which is excess salt, exceso grasa, which is excess fat. I think it's trans fat, but I can't remember what the other word is. Exceso azúcar, too much, excess sugar. Exceso alcohol. I can't remember what the word for alcohol is, but they have these kind of black octagons, and it's right on the outside of the package. So like on this one, it would be up here, and for every one of those things it violates, they would have one of those octagons on it. And again, we've seen those on the Mexican products we've done in the past. Now, I've done plenty of products from Colombia before, never saw this, but now every product that in the determination of, I don't know if it's like the National Board of Health or whatever it is in Colombia, but every product that to their specifications has too much sugar, too much salt, too much trans fat, all this stuff, they're putting it on there. So when you go to the grocery store and you look at the shelves, black octagons everywhere. So I've never seen that much before. Now, if they ever did that in the United States, could you just imagine in the United States where you're just walking through like the chip aisle and you just see these black octagons all over all the chips and everything? I guess it would make you think, like, what am I putting in my body? I don't think that would ever fly here. I don't think they would ever do that here. But it was. Has the Prince of Darkness been on? I haven't missed him. No, Pingu. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but I am at Michelle Grant's home, which she calls my second home, so I will call it that as well. And Claudia is at our home with Doodle. So we will not have a visit from the Prince of Darkness today. So we'll try to make that up for you next week. We'll make sure that we get Doodle on, but today, not so much. Dude would be in a meerkat mode, right? He would. He'd be like, he'd probably smell the smoke and think it's bacon or something. I don't know. Their nose is a lot more highly trained than ours, so he'd probably smell like, oh, there's no meat in that. I don't want that. All right, let's give this a shot. Mexico has almost gotten rid of all mascots and characters on packaging. I don't remember seeing any, so, this one, obviously that's Fred. Fred is a pig, literally. Okay, these are almost have the texture of chicharron, like a very, very light chicharron. Maybe that's what they're going with. They kind of look like Fritos, but they're not as crunchy as Fritos. They're really light. Like you could just put them on your tongue and just let them dissolve. They would do that. They're light and puffy like chicharron. We get that smoke flavor. It's savory, slightly salty. This probably has excess sodium in it, but again, these were imported, so they don't have that label on it. I guarantee you that if these were, if I brought back a bag of these from Colombia, it is a Colombian product, but if I bought a bag of these from Colombia, it would have those black octagons all over it. For something that shows a picture of a pig on there that alludes to being bacon, I don't get as much bacon, but it does get a nice savory flavor and everything. Probably not really healthy for you. Still good. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, trending downwards slightly, and only slightly because it's artificial. There's no actual bacon in there, but it really comes close to reproducing that sensation of bacon with the savoriness, saltiness, smokiness. So it comes close. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, trending downward. The only way it could be better is if they actually use bacon flavoring in there, and they're not. So it's not gonna get a solid thumbs up, but thumbs up, trending downward. All righty, the question that we asked. I think we asked a question. I hope we did. Let's see. Yes. What is What is the Colombian version of Mexican piloncilla, and from what is it made? So the guesses were, let's see. I think OG is busy with spring projects. Yeah, well, summer's almost here, so we better hurry. Miguel Rangel said brown sugar. Let's see. Edible pillows made with duck fat. Yeah, well, they're edible pillows, but there's no duck fat in there. Let's see. Janice said agua panela. Agua panela. We'll get to that in a second. So she's sort of right. Exceso calorías. Yes, Eli, you're right. That's one of the other ones. Excess calories. Let's see. It looks like those are the only guesses. So Janice is close. Agua panela is actually a drink. It's literally sugar water. Literally sugar water. We did an agua panela. I think it wasn't a live stream, so I think it was like a snack attack thing with a bunch of Colombian snacks that we did from a Colombian hotel room, and I think we did agua panela in there, and it's literally sugar water. That's the ingredients: sugar and water. Now, the thing about panela is, so you basically answered the question. The correct question is panela. Panela is what the Colombian version of piloncilla is. Let's see. And Miguel Rangel said brown sugar. The reason brown sugar is not correct, it's more like raw sugar. So basically, they take the sugar cane and they allow it to dry, and that's it. But brown sugar actually has molasses added to it. So it's not brown sugar. There's nothing added to it. It's just it's sugar, but it's evaporated sugar. They basically let the sugar cane juice evaporate, and then the sugar that's left is like a raw sugar. And in Mexico, the piloncillo is usually cone shaped, and the idea is that if you're going to be baking with it or something, you just take a grinder and you just kind of like grind off whatever you want. Panela is all like a brick shape, but it's the same thing. It's essentially the same thing. So panela is the correct answer. Agua panela is sort of correct in that you got the panela part right, but the agua part of it is a drink. Agua panela is a drink, Janice. So you're close. You actually got it right, but and then again, the from what is it made? It's cane sugar. It's made from cane sugar. All right. So let's see how we doing on time. We had an hour left. We've got about 6 snacks here. Let's see how many we've done. We did the pigs, did the cake, we did the. Let's do one more snack, and then we'll get on to our soft drink. I think we will do. Let's do these. And let me go ahead and ask a question. And the question is, what is the most visited city in Colombia? Again, what is the most visited city in Colombia? All right, so we're going to do these. And these are from Riquitas is the product line. These are Riquitas, chili, and lime Platanitos. Platanitos are like little plátanos, and plátanos are it's not a banana, it's a type of banana. They're usually bigger. They're usually made while they're green, and usually they're fried. So they use those bananas to make what is that called? I can't remember the name of it. They basically mash it and add butter to it and fry it. It is well, I can't remember the name. Patacon. Patacon. So one is called a patacon, and if you get more than one, it's patacones. Patacones is made with plátanos, and plátanos again, they're usually hard bananas,